MSI.
Porque ya había hecho esto de alguna manera y como que no me ha resultado.
¿Tú sabes qué? Tuve una anécdota bien graciosa. Cuando yo entré al colegio, yo soy la primera actividad de mira, vete para acá. En una actividad que se llama y me caí. Estaba entonces porque se la cadena, digamos, imagínate, entonces, porque yo mido 5'10", pero si me 2 pulgadas más. O sea, estaba bestia, yo me iba a morir. Hice un silencio.
Y fueron de la policía. Saludos.
Allá abajo, están esperando acá. Estamos aquí, ¿verdad? Yo le pregunto a Brenda una vez, pues yo le había dicho que le vamos a enviar eso.
Si usted lo vaya,
Sí, yo voy a enviar.
Well, there.
They
went back that way.
¿Sí?
Where are they?
Buenas tardes. Quisiera poner la oficina de la calle.
Sí que esto se evapora como todo lo demás.
A mí me contaron, yo no cogí clase con él, pero a mí me contaron una vez, perros, estaban cansados y se tiraban.
we're going to have today a talk about some opportunities that we cannot find in NASA. And today we have Mr. Rod Chappell, which is from the NASA Langley Research Center. And he came here to talk to you about some funding opportunity for the professors and for the university. Thank you for the community to be here. I see some professors, some students, and we are, I hope you enjoy the talk about the funding. And I have Dr. Suleiman, that he's here, and Dr. Luciano Castillo, who was a professor of us a long time ago also. So we present now Dr. Chappell.
Are we ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I hear music. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of to stop this.
NASA music. I'm like-
Yes, the space.
Okay, while she's getting that set up. My name is Rod Chappell. I'm here from Langley Research Center. And so what I'm going to talk to you about today are some of the opportunities that are available through our MUREP initiative. How many have ever heard of MUREP?
Can you send me that?
2 people? Oh,
Yes, you can just say, yeah.
okay. Can you hear me? Thank you. Oh, if you turn it on.
Hola.
Hola. Okay, so MUREP stands for Minority University Research and Education Project. And those are dollars that are provided by the U.S. Congress in order to help provide funding to minority-serving institutions. So if you hear me say MSI, I'm talking about a minority-serving institution of which the UPR system are Hispanic-serving institutions. So there's a high population of Hispanic students on any individual campus. And because of that, you are eligible for funding opportunities for the university, for professors, and for students. So how many of you knew that? Okay, got one, 5. Yes. I'm sorry. Okay.
We are,
All right.
yes, yeah.
We're transmitting live stream. Did you all know that? I did not. Okay, all right. So of that funding opportunity, $110 million comes into the Office of STEM Engagement, which used to be called the Office of Education. That was changed about a year ago at NASA. And of that $110 million, $32 million of those dollars are funded for the MUREP program. All right, is everybody with me? Right. So within MUREP, we have a new initiative. It's called the MUREP Sustainability Initiative. And that the goal of that is to help build long-term sustainability at minority-serving institutions. So if you think about capacity building, universities have always done very well with grants, and then there are these things in the middle called cooperative agreements in which a federal agency and a university partner together. Grants are a little more lenient, cooperative agreements, there's more partnership. And then you have contracts. And contracts are the ability for a university to act like a small business and grow its research enterprise. So there are many more dollars available from a contract standpoint than there are from grants and cooperative agreements. And so our goal with the initiative is to help you move from grants to cooperative agreements to contracts, and then be able to act like a business on your own and go get more dollars outside of the federal government. Okay? Just want to make this is like class. I am an adjunct professor, so everybody got that? All right. Okay, great. So, so what I'm going to talk to you through are some of the things that NASA career opportunities. Now, within the Office of STEM Engagement, the purpose is honestly for the students. So we go through the universities and the professors to get to the students. We want to build a much more diverse workforce in the future. And so I see some students in the back of the room. This is all for you. So just understand that, and I guess we'll have Q&A after I'm done, which it won't take long. So what we have here, and I'll just talk through this chart. At the top are our solicitations. So those are opportunities that are put out into the system, and minority-serving institutions respond to that and in a competitive manner, and they are awarded funding to do these things. So the first one is our music award, and that stands for Minority Universities Sustainability Innovative Collaborative. That one is our first solicitation out of this initiative, and that's for universities to help teach other universities. So a university has some specialty, and then they're going to teach another university or a group of universities how to do that. And so we awarded 3 institutions, 2 institutions and 1 nonprofit funding last year. And they're in the midst of going around, talking and presenting and training universities on how to do work. One of those universities is a specialist in contracts. And so they are doing webinars and seminars and on-site training in order to help other universities be better at contracting. So that's that green box. That yellow or yellowish box is a new project that was released last Friday. And the goal of that is to help build the aerospace ecosystem. So that's for minority-serving institutions to create a collaboration to design and manufacture aerospace parts. So if you haven't, how many have heard about that or seen that? Okay, that is brand new. So because you here have engineering, you're eligible for that award. It does not necessarily have to be aerospace engineering, however. But the goal is for you to work within the engineering groups and then have aerospace, an aerospace outcome. So as you talk about drones or even large parts, we want to manufacture those things. Within the America Competes Act, we've learned that a lot of manufacturing of aerospace parts is done overseas. And we want to bring that into the U.S. So that award, which will be given out at the end of the summer, it gives you an opportunity. It came out on Friday. There's going to be a call in the near future, and then there's going to be an opportunity for you to respond to that solicitation and hopefully win that solicitation and be one of up to 3 MSIs that will participate. The next blue box, as you see, it goes across all of our platforms, is our mission integration, and that's brand new. So we have a team member who is actually going to look at all of the opportunities within NASA, and it's going to categorize that into an opportunities section. And that opportunities section is going to allow MSIs to now come and say, hey, what are opportunities that we are looking for? We don't have to go scan an entire website or look at all of these different categories. We're going to provide an area for you to look at those opportunities there. And I'll talk about that more in a second, but just understand there's a person looking across all of NASA and saying, what are opportunities for minority-serving institutions? And we're going to put that in a place for you. Okay? So let's go down to the white boxes. I'll talk about really the first 2 or 3, and then if you have any questions, I can talk to you about that. That first area is called TOSS, and that's one of the areas that I run in particular, and that's our internal partnerships with different NASA offices. So the T stands for our Technology Transfer Office. The O is for our Office of Small Business Programs. First S is SBIR, STTR. How many know what that is? Okay, all right, that's good. So that's Small Business Innovation Research and Small Business Technology Transfer. And then the 4th one is our Space Act Agreements. And most of those Space Act Agreements are partnerships that happen with NASA, but there's no money exchange. It's generally exchange of ideas and exchange of lab usage. And for those that have not done any work with NASA, that's a way in the door. And I've met with several professors today, so I know you're doing work with NASA, but doesn't prohibit you from doing a Space Act Agreement. You could do an additional Space Act Agreement in addition to the work that you're already doing. So I'll just talk a little bit about each one of those. So from a tech transfer standpoint, NASA has intellectual properties that are already existing. They were developed by NASA researchers, and they sit in a database for licensable opportunities for schools and small businesses. So you have the ability to go out there, and from a university standpoint, there's a period where you can use these technologies at no cost to you. And you take those technologies and you create businesses behind that. One of the things that we've done is we created a technology transfer competition. We piloted it this past year, and we actually had a team from the Rio Pietras campus that was one of the 10 finalists. Now, what I've heard today is that you all did not know the competition exists. So I'm letting you know there's going to be a round 2 that will happen, and the challenge will be put on the street around the end of July. It's called MITIC, so the Europe Innovation and Technology Transfer Idea Competition. So you don't have to build anything. It's an idea competition. It's a concept paper. So you're taking a NASA IP, which we will select, and then you'll pick one of those, and then you create a business case or a concept paper that you submit, and then that concept paper is then down selected to 10 teams across the country. Those 10 teams will then come and participate in what we call a space tank. So think about a Shark Tank, where you're in front of judges. This past year there was a venture capital person on the judging panel. There were other folks from different centers, and they down selected to one winning team, which was El Camino College out of California. And so those students got a chance to then go to Ames Research Center and do private tours, as well as do a private tour at different companies in Silicon Valley. So we visited LinkedIn, we visited Google X, which can't even get into Google X. We visited Nissan's automated car, autonomous vehicle center, and then we also visited Singularity University and Made in Space, which are companies that were built out of NASA, and one of them is a teaching and training institution for startups. So we're going to have, once again, round 2 that's coming out, and we want you to participate. One thing that we did last year is we allowed schools to enter 1 submission per campus. This year we're going to open that up. So as many teams that want to enter from any individual campus can do so. So there might be, from my way, there may be 10 teams that want to participate. Versus last year, you had to really compete on campus, get down to 1 team, and then submit that. We want as many submissions as possible this year. We have a lot of reviewers, so don't worry about that. So just put as many teams as you can into the competition. The second one, which is the O, which is our Office of Small Business Programs Partnership. And what we do with them is we have something called the NASA Technology Infusion Road Tour. And that allows minority-serving institutions to come into a room, present their capabilities to an audience, and in that audience are NASA participants, other federal agencies, as well as prime contractors, so your Boeings, your Lockheed Martins, your SAICs, and then other small businesses. And the universities present their capabilities to that audience, and then there's a matchmaking that happens at the end in order to see where capabilities match, and then there are contracting opportunities. So for you that don't know this, we will be here at the end of the year. So either November or December, which we're trying to work on now, we will likely be stationed at San Juan, but we will definitely visit this campus, and I think we're going to tour also Aguadilla as well. So that's either going to be November or December, and what we typically do, we'll have the research and sponsored programs present out the capabilities of the universities, so the university is a UPR system, and then we'll have professors who can also be on panels. There'll be panels of the other small businesses and large businesses, and then students typically do poster sessions. So the work that you're doing allows you to have an opportunity to be seen by NASA. And once again, all of this is for you. So for internships, full-time opportunities, post-grad opportunities, we're looking for students from MSIs to participate and be a part of NASA. So I'll jump to integrated technology. And as we talked about the mission integration, so there's going to be a list of all the opportunities. Those are going to be instituted and integrated into our capabilities gateway. Capabilities Gateway is a list of all of the minority serving institutions in the country. So that's historically black colleges, that's tribal colleges, Hispanic serving, Asian American serving, Native and Pacific Islander universities, you name it, and predominantly black institutions also. And those are designated by the Department of Education. So we take that list is put into a database, and then we put into there the capabilities of the universities. We can do that right now. So we've launched that, it's in beta right now. But you can actually go in and query whatever thing you're looking for. So say you're looking for robotics, you query into the system, and it'll pull up the 10 to 15 universities that have robotics programs in them. Now that's big for other universities, that's big for large contractors, but it's also really big for federal agencies who are looking to partner with you. So I know that you have, I think, 6 ABET accredited engineering departments here on campus, and those will be in the capabilities deck and in the repository. So if somebody's looking for mechanical engineering, they will pull that up. If somebody's looking for mechanical engineering from a Hispanic serving institution, it will pull that up. And your campus would be in that query, for instance. Okay? All right, so just a little bit about some of the other things that we're doing. We are creating public-private partnerships with organizations. So that's where a federal agency is partnering with private industry. Now we're doing some of that with your larger contractors that are already doing work with NASA. We're also doing that with other contractors or businesses that desire to work with institutions. So don't think about it as NASA is the only path. There are other partners that we're working with to create opportunities for you, particularly the students who are looking for jobs in the future, so the future STEM workforce. And then the last thing I'll say about MIDIC, which is our tech transfer opportunity, internships come from that. So if you, as you're looking for a NASA internship now, you are looking and think about an ocean of competition that are participating in looking for internships from NASA. If you participate in the MIDIC competition, you're then pulled into a pool of other MSI students. And so where there be thousands upon thousands of folks, you might be in a pool of hundreds of folks, and internships are available. So right now we've asked for funding for 16 interns. This year with our pilot, we had funding for 10 interns, and all of those intern slots were filled with the 75 people that participated in MIDIC. Right, so that's a small number. This year, and so then there were 2 other students who participated that didn't get selected for MIDIC internships. Well, guess what? Those other 2 students then were placed in other NASA internship opportunities. And these were just from a pool of 75 to 80 students that participated in the competition. We plan to do that again next year. So think about just by participating, even if you don't win, you have an opportunity to get an internship at NASA throughout the country. And you don't necessarily have to be an engineer. You could be an engineer, a business student. You just need to be on the team and participate in the competition. Okay? This is for the sponsor research folks and the professors, and I'll talk one thing about this. NASA is the only agency with a 1% goal for minority serving institutions for contracts. So as our role is pushing you into contracts, it's not as if we're pushing you and there's nothing sitting on the other side. That 1% goal of a $19 billion budget is $190 million. And we've never surpassed more than $50 million in any given year. So if you think about it from your business mind, that's over $100 million that's available in contracts for minority serving institutions. So we're here to push right into that space and help teach and train and create opportunities for you to participate. And all of those dollars count from an MSI standpoint. And now it's in the FAR regulations for NASA, which means it's written into the system. The prime contractors at NASA must abide by that. And so we're going to push to get that goal. Hopefully we'll not only meet the 1%, but we'll surpass that. Okay? Any questions? At all? That's all I had, Shane.
MSI is not only educational institutions, are also small businesses?
Nope. So MSIs are minority serving institutions. Those are schools. Where you see up here where MSIs are considered small disadvantaged businesses, it means that you are competing against other small businesses for work. But as you are the expert in that particular field, and a small business may be as well, you're competing with them in order to get the work. So you have an opportunity to think like a small business and actually win that award. Any other questions? Any questions from students?
So what unique
Oh,
benefit,
here's some. Okay.
what unique benefit, for example, could have a company located in an EBSCOR state in some sort of a competition with other minority businesses? Do they have any particular
For a company
advantage?
or for an institution?
Yeah, for companies, for example. small
Okay,
companies.
so how many know what F-score is? Everybody knows. Okay, so you know that you sit in an F-score area. Okay, so what that means is, unfortunately or fortunately, Puerto Rico is deemed as a lower technology area. And some states are higher technology, so they are not eligible for F-score funding. That funding is to help drive innovation and technology in a particular area, right? So that funding is given to organizations and institutions that want to drive technology in that particular region. The goal is for you to not be on the F-score list in actuality. So you want to drive innovation. The funding from NASA is in partnership with opportunities that you see. So there are F-score funding opportunities, and then we are now looking at opportunities where NASA funds and F-score funds could potentially come together and drive innovation and technology. So I would say be on the lookout for those opportunities, but I don't know who your F-score person is here in the state, but you should also be talking to them about technology opportunities there. Now, from a small business standpoint, small businesses, and I'll talk about the S at this point. So you know what STTRs are, right? So that's when you're partnering with a small business and your university. And within that setup, the university is going to be guaranteed 30% of the money from the STTR. The small business is guaranteed 40% of those dollars. So that's a total of 70%. You have another 30% that you can share amongst yourselves or however you want to do that. So from an F-score standpoint in this state, the small business should partner with the university in Puerto Rico and go after opportunities. Not only opportunities with NASA, but other agencies and use the F-score opportunities. Any other questions? Everybody understands that? Okay, I told you I was a professor, so now here's a quiz. I'm just joking. All right, I think I'm done if there are no other questions. So everybody understands how to participate in MIDIC, students? You're going to look out for that? How many students? Who are students? Okay, you all look like students. Just, I was wondering if you're going to raise your hand. You're not a student? You? Her?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we want you to participate in MIDIC. That's one of the new initiatives, and I think there's a tremendous opportunity for the universities here and the students to participate in that and actually win. Okay. Any other questions? Anything? All right. Oh, that's all right. Yes, sir.
I'm actually wondering, I'm a business student. I was wondering what career opportunities does NASA plan to offer students that are on this studying business and not engineering and not other stuff that I feel NASA would be more interested in.
Yeah, so my undergrad was marketing, my MBA was marketing.
Okay.
So you can look at me, I'm not an engineer. So I would say for you, I would absolutely participate in it because it's a interdisciplinary team, right? And so many of the internships were within the small business offices as well as the technology transfer offices, right? And I'll tell you one thing, so some of the students who wanted to be interns were hardcore engineers. So when we put the opportunities out there to work in small business or technology transfer, they didn't want them.
Okay.
They only wanted the really hardcore engineering internships, which for someone that's in business school, that's an opportunity for you. That's it? All right, thank you.
I just want to say something else. We have some additional information that we're probably going to provide. So if you send us an email message, if you would like some additional information, send it to me, david.suleiman@upr.edu. I participated in one of the road tours that were available a while ago. And the difference between these type of opportunities and the traditional opportunities that we have is that they are primarily based on contracts. And contracts, we have to understand the nature of the agency and the mission of the agency. And this is a process that we need to really get into the agency and try to understand what exactly are the needs of the agency. And I have some of that information so that you can start looking through those sites to see what opportunities are out there, what do they really need. And it's a way of getting immersed into the NASA community. I think the event that he pointed out that we're planning to have either in November or December will be a great event, not only because we will have all that information available for everyone that will be there, but in addition to that, there will be contractors that somehow would like to make a match between the opportunities that they have, or the funding opportunities that they have, and the capabilities that we as a university could have. So that would be an excellent opportunity to connect and to really understand what do they need. So hopefully all of you will be part of that opportunity that we'll have in November, December. We're trying to make sure we have the final stages of that program. But if you want some additional information so you can start looking into what the agency is looking for, please send me an email message and I will try to make sure you have that information. You can send it to me, david.suleiman@upr.edu, or you can send it to Patricia.
Carmen P.
Carmen
P.
Paris at upr.edu. Either one of us will actually provide that information. If you have any other questions for Rod, please.
Is there any opportunity for basic science like physics or math?
Yeah, I mean, NASA is a science agency.
I mean, which sort of program?
All right, so within our, let's just say we are partnering across all mission directorates, right? So there are 4 mission directorates at NASA. And Science Mission Directorate is one of the largest ones. So within the Science Mission Directorate are all of the sciences and the life sciences. So there's opportunities there. There's also a Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate. And that's all about the astronaut. So from beginning to end, everything that happens to the astronaut, what they eat, what they drink, everything, there's an opportunity there with sciences as well. When you get into the Aeronautics Mission Directorate and the Space Technology Mission Directorate, those are a little different than what you're asking about, but there are 2 directors that you should be looking for opportunities. The solicitation that came out on Friday is in the high volume manufacturing, is in partnership with the Aeronautics Research Mission Directorate. So our future in MIRA is partnering with the Mission Directorate and putting out opportunities. And we're looking at science right now to see what are some of the things that universities might want to see and compete for from a money standpoint.
There is a difference, and I hope you understand this, that this is not different than applying to a research grant. When you apply to a research grant in NASA, in any program, you submit your proposal, you wait, and you get something if you get it. What Rod is talking about, this other opportunity in terms of contracts, it means that Lockheed Martin, Boeing, receive a big grant, 20 million, a billion, I don't know. And they said we need to partner with a minority institution to complete X, Y, and Z task. I want to find the best group who could do that. When they have the road tour that they hopefully when we come, they will be partnering with us. They will be discussing how I have this guy in Mayagüez or this woman or this team. They could do this X, Y, and Z task for us. This is at $2 million a year. Okay, you get that contract with them. That's a game changer for everybody. That means that, imagine for you to get from even NSF, even 5 million, which is the ERC, 5 million per year, you're talking about a nightmare, right? And all the reporting. Here, you're talking about that we have to show our expertise, that we have to demonstrate not only that we have the personnel to do it, but also the ability within this seat to handle those contracts. So everything has to be in place. So from my perspective, anybody's perspective, this is a gold mine. This is a different game. This is a game changer for all of us. And so I urge you, I highly urge everybody to pay close attention to this, because these are not opportunities that everybody knows. I didn't even know about this, not that I know everything, but if I wish I had known that, right? Because that means that you could work with Boeing, you could work with Lockheed Martin and NASA, and build a very unique research program that could be unheard at any university, period. When you have $5 million a year, anybody could do very well. So this is what we're talking about here, okay? This is not the regular grant.
I'll say something about that, Luciano. So as we talk about capabilities, you have the capabilities of doing your work. So the research that you're doing, which all I've heard today is you're doing a lot of things that people don't necessarily know about. So you have that capability. But then from a university standpoint, the capability to run a contract. And generally, that's the issue. It's not the work, and not that you're not subject matter experts in your work. It's usually that part of getting to you and you getting paid from a university standpoint. And so those are the things that we've been talking about, closing the gap and making sure that that capability is built here on the island. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
I think this is it. Yeah. Thank you, Rod, for your time. I just want to thank you all for your time. We will be visiting research laboratories and facilities here at campus. We're going to start with mechanical engineering. Then we probably will move to Stephanie and to civil engineering. We're going to have some talks kind of plan and make sure we have the final event that we were trying to develop today. But again, if you have any additional questions, please email them to me or email them to Patricia, and we'll be glad to provide you additional information or answer any forward any questions that you have. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Gracias.